Hi, my name is LeAnne, Laux-Bachand, and my talk is Empowering First-Year Students Through Campus Outreach. So I'm going to be talking about an assignment I've given for the last year or two in my first-year writing classes, and that is for students to research an area of interest or an issue on campus that interests them, to research the audiences who can address that issue, and to write a letter to that campus office or organization. And some of the things that are often in those letters are thank yous, including personal stories, offering suggestions, asking questions, and sometimes also giving congratulations if the office or organization has done something new. And then they also write a rationale for the class explaining why they made the particular choices they did in that letter. Why this project? I find it's a really great way for students that are brand new to campus to learn what resources are out there. We've been learning about rhetoric in the classroom, and then they apply that in both the letter and the rationale. We also learn about discourse communities, which are groups that share language practices, and they can analyze whether the audience they're writing to would qualify as a discourse community. And it also helps prepare them for a larger research project by having more low-stakes research early on. Just some of the groups that have been written to over the last year or two: ASUWT, the Chancellor's Office, First Gen Fellows, a student club called Gender and Sexuality Alliance, Office of Student Advocacy and Support, the Pantry, the Student Counseling Center, School of Engineering and Technology, and Transportation Services. So I'm going to be sharing just two excerpts with you. The first was from a student who had experienced some housing insecurity, and they were writing to thank ASUWT for their offer or their efforts to get below market rate housing near campus. So this student wrote, "I just moved into the Co's apartments last weekend with phone bills, gas prices, food costs, and more expenses required for living. Rent is an overpriced bill that a lot of college students cannot afford. That is why I'm so appreciative of this program that allows us to have our space and privacy for an affordable price." And I'll say too, these are shared anonymously with permission. And then part of the rationale is to say, have you heard back from your audience yet? And if not, what are you anticipating? And the student wrote, "My audience has not yet responded, but I intend to get a short and sweet message back thanking me for my feedback that I gave them. Since they are such an important group that handles loads of work, I assume it will take a while for them to respond, and that's okay." The other example I want to share is suggestions that were given to the Student Counseling Center. I have a couple of suggestions of how you can promote yourselves more. First, you could create an informative flyer that advertises all the services you provide, as well as your location. Secondly, maybe an event held where students could go to and participate in counseling activities like journaling or cycled breathing. Lastly, and probably the easiest, is that you should all speak at orientation or admitted student day so that incoming freshmen will learn of y'all as soon as possible. And this student did get a response back. I was very surprised by how fast her response was, and I really loved the reply in total. Her response consisted mainly of replies to my suggestions by saying, "There is certainly more that we can be doing to make ourselves known to the students at UWT." She also let me know that they are trying to open a new position to educate the campus community on issues such as suicide prevention and violence prevention. My letter must have surprised her because she said, "Your suggestions are timely." She ended her reply by the suggestion I write about my thoughts on mental health awareness on campus to the Ledger. So some of the learning outcomes that I didn't mention in the earlier slide that I've seen with this project is students get to experience non-evaluative audiences. So audiences that are not me grading them and not their peers reviewing them. They end up educating each other about campus resources, which really, I think, can sometimes mean more when it's coming from them. And they make helpful and lasting connections for the rest of their time at UWT. So thank you very much.